to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person that supports us on Patreon and PayPal. We appreciate, love you so much. And we are sharing a lot, especially like what's happening in India, etc., etc. We just can't share it on this platform, but we are sharing a lot of that information on our Patreon, beloveds, because it's not getting real. It's gotten so real right now, and you really need to be you need to be putting the right information in your head, because we really are in the mental age. And I just wanted to follow up on the story I did about the passing of the Zulu queen, who was the regent ruler after her husband died a month ago. This is the three royal families. Well, there's one actually. There's another Zulu prince who was killed in Hawaii. He had Mzungu, whatever relationship, a wife or whatever. So they didn't really pick up any kind of steam here. But anyway, it's really what's happening, beloveds. What's really going on? Of course, at the very first thing people were saying is that, that some dirty game is being played, obviously. And what they're trying to do is erase and remove the Zulu nation and replace it. And you know what? We have to connect the dots, beloveds, because first of all, the heir to the Zulu nation dies in November. Then the Zulu king dies in March, and he was the longest standing monarch. I think he ruled for like 50 years. Sadly, he died in a Babylon hospital. I've already discussed that in the previous show, how we can't be doing that anymore. And then his wife was left in charge, his third wife. She was the princess from Eswatini as well. She was the sister of the current king of Eswatini. Sorry, in the other video I said president. And so she was left as the regent ruler. And then all of a sudden, she also has just died in hospital. And, as much as people are saying this is some Game of Thrones thing, the family, because I think the man was polygamous, so he had 3 wives, there's like 27 children, so they're saying there's a rush for the throne. But it's much deeper than that, beloveds. As I told you in the previous episode, the nature of the beast, the enemy of our souls, they never give up. The agenda they had 100 years ago to colonize us never ended. They didn't think, now they have independence. No. Their colonialism and apartheid system moved to the next level. Like in South Africa, beloveds. I used to discuss this a lot. We don't even know if it was Mandela that left that prison. Because he came and he freed the people from a physical apartheid, but they remained in an economic apartheid. So nothing really changed. And then we saw him in, Knights of Malta. Anyway, this isn't about Mandela. But what they're trying to do, and someone actually sent me a tweet because, we were discussing this, what's happening with the Zulu nation. People were reaching out and telling me the Zulu nation is under attack. Basically, someone who tweeted me is called Actually Yeah. And he said, the Zulu nation is being erased for a removal. Remove and replace. Then erase the history and identity. Same game that was done in Australia and America. The long game is a European South Africa. What did I tell you guys? Like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, I think earlier this week, I released a show about how there was a massive fire in the University of Cape Town near Table Mountain, and only in the rare African books section. And they said that they lost a lot of the information about the ancient nations, the ancient kingdoms, and also a lot of the evidence and writings on the apartheid system. Now, a lot of people were asking, was it really destroyed, or, did they just relocate it somewhere and then release a propaganda that it had been destroyed and burnt down the library? I mean, these are the times. Don't think that everything you read is don't take everything as the truth. Everything that is being told to you has an agenda, beloveds. And what we're seeing is, you think the descendants of Rhodes are just going to give land back to the blacks who they see as beneath them? The paradise, the Eden, they're just going to give it up without a fight? I mean, I reported from 2019 and 2020 about how they were being, mainly 2019, how they were being trained by the Israelis and all this stuff. As they prepared, we saw Malenma with all the rhetoric. And then now with the Rona and everything, it's totally different. You know, that story has died. Then they're trying to get everyone jabbed. Beloveds, these are serious times. And they're trying to destroy the Zulu nation so that one day South Africa will be like Argentina. You know, Argentina, they killed all the people that look like you and me. So Argentina is the most Mzungu, you know, and a lot of Nazis actually relocated there. But if you listen to the apartheid people, they weren't planning on going anywhere. And so they are still at war. We thought we got independence, so we relaxed. The war never stopped, beloveds. The invasion never stopped. The invasion continued and continues till today. Because they're trying to get us spiritually. They have the majority of our people mentally. But I told you, beloveds, the war will not be won by Babylon. There is no way. Even if it means 90% of us must go, we will go. Because we always come back. Because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So they think they can just erase the Zulu nation? It won't happen, beloveds. But obviously, the royal family has been penetrated. Because the queen was actually, they were even having secret meetings behind the queen's back. And she came out and she talked to, she kind of rebuked that. And then a couple of days later, she was taken out. But it's not just our people, but it shows you the weakness within our people, beloveds. That for money and greed, because I think there's also some fund I saw in Ghana or something like that. Please leave the name, South African brothers and sisters. There's a massive fund or trust fund or something that the royal family, that everyone's trying to get their hands on. But it's deeper than that. Divide and conquer. They never, you think they gave, you think they're like, oh yeah, Shaka's descendants can stay? They have been systematically dismantling the Zulu nation. I mean, a couple of years ago, I think it like in 2013, or correct me, I'm not sure about the exact year, they actually dismantled the Zulu nation and made it KwaZulu Natal, which is like a state or something. Anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. Who is trying to destroy or remove the Zulu nation? That's basically what's happening, beloveds. And I'm telling you, all gloves are off. The minute they started, the pandemic, they are now rolling out the New World Order agenda. Like it's been rolling out for 100 years, but this is their final chance to try and see if they can, if their king can rule, the earth for a day. They even want just that one day where they rule the whole world. But I keep telling you, beloveds, it won't happen. Because the spirit of our people, the spirit of Zion, the spirit of Africa has taken over. But it is very important, especially to my South African brothers and sisters, that they realize what the Mzungu is doing. They didn't let you go. Mandela was compromised when you got independence in 94. What has changed for the South African people? And now they're trying to remove, because you see, it's a spiritual thing. It's a mental thing. Once they totally dismantle the Zulu nation, that will just be wiped out of history. They've already started with the burning down of the Cape Town, African Archives Library. How interesting that that's the only section of the library that burnt down. Like, beloveds, the enemy isn't playing. But it looks like some of our people think this whole thing is a joke. Otherwise, you'd be chanting day and night. for the liberation of our people to come. That we don't have to endure this for too long. So that not all our people are taken out. Because I told you, beloveds, enough people are awake. I don't know if I've released it the video on here, but you can see it on Patreon. With or without you, beloveds, Zion, Eden, Al-Kabulan, whatever you want to call it, will be saved and restored. And to the people who are trying to, there's a lot of people who are saying, all the Zulu leaders are just dying in just a few months. Plus the burning of plus the burning of the library to totally destroy history. I mean, it's so obvious. Beloveds, we're also in the age of information where nothing can be hidden from us. But anything that they do to destroy, because we are like trees. And there's like a very, I've been observing the Mugumo tree, which is our spiritual tree. And it's like whenever you cut even, one root of the Mugumo tree, or if you try and bring down a Mugumo tree, like 100 more Mugumo trees will come. That is our nature, beloved. If they try and destroy the Zulu nation, they are ushering in at an accelerated rate the real ancient kingdoms and queendoms. The Zulu nation has stood so firm for Africa, and it's a spiritual thing, beloveds. They don't fight physically. They try and convince you. They don't fight physically. And on top of that, with the experiment, they're just trying to make you only reach a certain point. But they did this in America, where they finished off all the native Indians, melanated nations, more like it. They finished all those kingdom, beloveds. Till today, we don't even know. People don't even know that, the native Indians were actually black people. They erased it. And, curse on them for trying to say that, in the future, South Africa will be a European nation. And they will tell people they came and saved the nation. Beloveds, it's real out there. Remember, don't fight physically. Yet, take this to the spiritual realm. If you pray daily, add this to your prayer list. If you chant daily, add this to your prayer list, add this to your chanting list. If you do the beads, add this to, do a couple beads for this. Whatever you do to engage your spiritual life, you need to get more and more and more serious about that. And I know there's plenty of prayer warriors. Beloveds, we're not few. The awakened ones, we are not few. Check out what happened with the cyclone, that they sent to Tanzania. I just did a story on that. We are not few, beloveds, but because the real ones are in hiding, doing their thing, you may think you're all alone, but just do your part, beloveds. Just do your part. Send the darts and the arrows and the everything. May the memorials fall. Everywhere where they've overlaid, may this overlay be banished, be removed. Africa will not go the way of America. The Zulu nation will not be destroyed. And we stand firm with the Zulu nation. They're trying to just erase it just like that. Then they'll probably erase all the Shaka Zulu movies and everything. This is how they play. Like, seriously, we're in a very serious time, beloveds. Some of the things that we should all be on the same page on is that Africa will be liberated within our lifetimes. Any president that is a puppet and is not for us will be removed in the quickest way possible. No weapon fashioned against our people will prosper. We send back every curse, every arrow, 10 times back to the enemy. Maybe I'll actually meditate on some declarations, beloveds, and share them so we can be on the same page. Please share in the comments below some of the declarations you think, and then I'll compile a list. And at least let's come with some 10 or 12 or something. Affirmations, declaration, prayer points, whatever you call it, that we all are just saying in our own time, as we come together, beloveds, to be doing it at the same time. But do it whenever you can, beloveds. Because that means if you're doing it in your time and I'm doing it in my time, and our brothers and sisters in Australia are doing it in their time, there will be a constant cry, a constant chain, a constant spiritual, energy being created, beloveds. We're in some really perilous times, but we should also remember, beloveds, our kings and queens don't die. They just leave their vessels in order to reincarnate again. You best believe that we come back, because we're here. Tuko pamoja.